Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our new friend Cristian Gajda. We're here to break down Flagstone, Dreams of God, and Getae Legacy, and everything in between. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking backstage a little bit about, just your experiences developing games and everything. And I'm interested, how did you get into creating games? It seems like this is like everybody's dream job, right? Everyone wants to create a video game.
Well, I wanted to do games for a very long time. I did a bunch of mods for Skyrim and then messed a little bit with the mods in Minecraft because those had the biggest modding communities. And ironically, I was working in a factory in another country, and I was starting to scratch a lot of ideas. And I said, let me try some engines. See, I didn't even knew what's an engine, and I started with CryEngine. Not the best experience there. Back then, they barely had any resources to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Unity was huge, but after 10 minutes, I uninstalled Unity, and then when I installed Unreal, I said, this is for me.
I think it's really interesting hearing that you started creating mods. I know that when I've talked to indie creators previously, that kind of seems to be like the steps to doing this, as you create a couple mods to kind of get into the mix of things, and then you take it up to the next level. Is that like kind of the easiest way to get into this, is creating different mods?
I wouldn't say that, because you don't learn too much about asset management. You kind of learn about the poly count and some stuff that you need to be aware of, or how many textures you should have there. But I don't think that today it's not the best solution, because now you can just download an engine and you have a ton of resources on YouTube or maybe on their website. Like Unreal has its own learning section there, and all the courses are free, so you can easily get into it. If you like animations, you go learn about the rigging, the new tools that they have now. If you want to do landscaping or level designing, you just go into those courses, and it's very, very easy. You learn tool by tool, and then you can get a job.
I mean, and I love how you started with an engine that wasn't quite suitable for learning, and then moving to the one that was. What was that experience like for you? I mean, I know for me, when I first started like making and editing videos, I kind of had a similar experience where it felt like I was just hitting my head against a wall. And then once I found a program that helped me like learn, it was just like smooth sailing afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I looked a lot on YouTube videos to see how to do things, and everybody started, oh, you need to make a Mario game, we need to be 2D, and you're set. After that, you can do your own game, and that's not the best way to deal with it, because Jesus, there is a lot into creating a game. And I was lucky in the beginning compared to other cases, because I won a small grant, not a big grant, but it was enough to buy some computers to be able to develop some games. And I started basically to learn every tool in Unreal to be able to make a game by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my, that was torture. And that was Awaken the Time, the first game that I did.
So what was your first game like, if you can give us a little bit about it?
Well, now looking back at it, it's horrible, I think. But it can definitely be improved with today's new tech that's coming out.
So what type of game was it, though? What was, I guess, the main objective in it?
Well, I wanted to make a game where you can go in different time zones and have different gameplay styles. Not as a swordman in the future, or a swordman in the past, and then a swordman in the dinosaur age or something like that, to move your soul into different characters that are in different time zones. And it worked, but I wasn't able to take it to the next stage because I wanted to pitch investors. It's kind of in an alpha state now. That's why I said it's horrible. It's not because the idea is bad or something like that. And because I was alone, everybody said, well, if you get sick, who will work on it? So we cannot back you. Then I said, okay, scratch that off the table. Let's build a team. And I started to build a team. Now we are 16.
Ooh, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. And we started to work on a common goal, and that's, in the beginning it was Flagstone Getae Legacy. We wanted to make something, an RPG definitely, but something new, to have something, because if you play, I don't know, if you play 10 RPGs, you will kind of see that there is just a nice dress up or a nice different story, but basically it's the same thing done in a different way. And we said, let's try to find something that it should be original, but otherwise we're wasting time.
Yeah. How did it feel like working from a one-man team and then having a team of 16? That had to have been like a breath of fresh air.
Well, in the beginning it was very hard because I had to let it go and not micromanage everything like I do.
Yeah.
And I imagine I was a pain in the beginning, but slowly I learned to trust more and more the people that I'm working with, and basically put the responsibility in their hands, on their field, of course.
So with this team, you guys have primarily just been working on Flagstone Getae Legacy, or have you done anything in between in the meantime?
Well, with the programmer that's now on the team, and he is also building the website, there is the art director that's helping us at the moment, and another 3D artist. He's not on the team at this point. We made the game jam. We meet up very strangely, and we started to do a game for a game jam. I think it was Epic Mega Jam in August 2021 or September or something like that.
And those game jams are kind of those are a lot of fun, right? You only have a certain amount of time to make the game from start to finish. Yes, what was the game that? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
7 days.
7 days. What was the game that you guys worked on? That seems like in a week. That seems like such a tight timeline to get it done. Like, holy crap.
Well, we did a shooter game where UFOs came in and started to destroy buildings, and you had to protect the core building. So it was something like a tower defense. The team was running out of space. So that was the idea that we came up with.
So how did that game jam look like for you guys over the course of 7 days? I mean, did you have any big issues you had to work through, or was it, pretty nice over the course of the week? What was that experience like?
It was weirdly natural flow. We didn't stress too much. Like I'm looking at other streams to see other people's experiences in this case, but for us, we kind of said, you're doing this, we're doing that, I'm doing this, let's do it. And it kind of worked well.
I mean, it's nice too, because I kind of set the tone for, the experience, you guys were going to have on Flagstone Getae Legacy as well. It lets you know that you work really good as a team. Can you give us a little bit about what Flagstone Getae Legacy is about? What type of game it's going to be and what type of story we can expect from it?
Well, I'm trying to make the story short because it's almost impossible. There is a protagonist and an antagonist that will kind of fight each other try to compete with one another, but they will be basically AI. And you won't be dragged through a narrative on a line. So I don't know, NPCs waiting for you to come up and then, oh, I have a quest for you. We don't want that type of experience. It will be a sandbox, somewhat close to what I can compare it with. It's No Man's Sky.
Okay.
So you can even destroy the landscape and dig tunnels and stuff like that. You can basically destroy anything in it. On the character creation side of it, it will be classless and levelless.
Okay, yeah.
And there will be, of course, a progression system that it will be based on various parts that you will pick up along the line or learn from trainers. And with these parts, you will basically do anything in the game. Construct buildings, create weapons, craft stuff, decoration, weapons, armor, so on. Also, you will build your abilities and spells. We are
That's
now
cool.
very focused on the ability creator because we don't want you to unlock, I don't know, fireball, rain, or something like that. We want you to create the actual spell and what the spell should do.
That's really cool. I love like how you're kind of like going above and beyond the RPG experience. I'm really curious, like, what's the combat going to look like in terms of, because I noticed you mentioned you can like destroy a lot of the environment. Is that going to come into play with the combat at all?
Yes, of course.
Oh, that's awesome.
You will be able to destroy with your spells the landscape.
That's so cool. That is so cool. So is it going to be like a turn-based type of combat, or what type of, fighting style are we going to see?
A dynamic flow.
Okay.
So if you stay there, the world will evolve around you and things will happen. The world won't wait for you.
This sounds like it is going to be such a fun experience. But this isn't all that is coming out. You also have a tabletop game coming out with it as well. Can you give us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I didn't know how to solve the problem with classless and levelless. I kind of had the idea from Skyrim, but that's not the best because you still have levels there. So I kind of had an idea on how to do it, but I had no idea how to do it. And I had an interesting system that will tie things together. And when Tony came along, he had the TTRPG, which he solved the classless and levelless problem and how to tackle with them. In both games it will be the same systems, but of course one it's played on tabletop and one it will be played on PC. But the mechanics will be the same. So if you're familiar with one, you can easily pick up the other because it's basically the same thing.
So what are you guys doing to solve that though? The classless and levelless, like, is that something that you can't really talk about right now, or can you maybe give us a little bit more on it?
There is a system that will help you build your stats.
Okay.
But it will be totally different from picking strength, dexterity, and stuff like that. You won't have stuff like that. And the other system is the one that I mentioned with the ability creators and the components. And so when I pitched him the idea and he pitched me the idea, we realized that our games can actually go together very well because he's solving my problems and I'm solving his problems. So that was a weird journey that we had.
I think it's really cool how they both collide too. It gives you kind of the experience in both worlds, right? The digital, like playing it on a computer type of experience, and then playing it on the physical on the tabletop. It's a really awesome experience. And I am loving how you are kind of just breaking the mold of like what is in an RPG. Like instead of like natural like progression. You're like, we're not going to have levels, we're not going to have class. There's going to be this way that's going to dictate the stats. Even how you guys are going about the stats too. You don't have the normal like strength and like dexterity. Like, I really like how you guys are breaking the mold. What's your reasoning for that?
Well, it's limited and it creates power creeps. So you end up like in almost any other game, where you become so powerful that nobody can beat you, and there's no.
Yeah. So you eliminate that to kind of to bring the player back to increase the difficulty.
Yeah, to not fall down into the boredom area. We kind of want to keep it as much as possible between boredom and anxiety.
That's funny. I'm the type of person on an RPG. My first thing is to grind as much as humanly possible in that first level. So I am like OP going up against the people. So I love how like you're taking that away. I mean, what are you hoping players take away when they play this game? You know, what type of experiences and feelings do you want them to have? Like, what should a player expect when they play this for the first time?
Well, this was a little bit hard to focus. We started to focus on one mechanic, which I kind of want to leave it at the end because there's the cherry on the top of the cake. But we wanted to have big army fights, so you could lead armies and they would clash and fight each other, and also to have huge open worlds, but not. How should I say this? Like, I don't want to talk down on other games, but there are some games, I won't say names, that they are procedural. That to a point you see that it's so repeating that it's the same grass but now it's blue, or it's the same tree but now it's orange, or something like that.
Yep.
We kind of want to break that system, and to be able to do that, we are using a lot of AI.
That's cool.
Yeah.
One of my biggest things like with games is when you're fighting wave after wave of enemy and it just ends up being the same character with a different skin to it. I hate that. Like that for me as a gamer, that's one of the biggest things that I hate when I'm playing a game.
Yeah.
Well,
now it will be very hard to find two that are have the same abilities and same class, I would say, because the chances of that happening is into billions. There are way too many variables to be able to find two that are exactly the same.
For everyone watching, right here is the newsletter to sign up for Flagstone Getae Legacy. When are you guys expecting like any sort of playable demo or like anything of that nature to come? Like is that like in the nearby future?
We're hoping next year to have a playable demo to show, because we're tackling with some problems. How should I phrase this? So the AI, as you know it, and I'm talking about the machine learning, not NPCs. If they have too much stuff, then they at one point they just do random weird stuff that doesn't make any sense. But if they have only one task or 2 or 3 tasks maximum, then they will perform very well. So now we're kind of building an architecture where we will have a hierarchy of AIs that will kind of decide for one another. And also we kind of have to put a break on it. So I don't know, for example, you're going to a village, you find the fire mage for some weird reason, and he teaches you to do something, and now you're going to another village and you see another fire mage doing knowing what happened with you in the previous village, and in order to do that, it's a little bit complicated. So the AI will be able to teach you even further or something like that, but not to have knowledge from one NPC to another, so they won't have like a hive mind or something like that.
Thank goodness the AI is doing this, because I don't know if I would be able to do that. It seems like it's really a complicated like process.
Yeah, it is. But without AI, I don't think it's even possible at this point.
So, after kind of breaking down Flagstone, Getae Legacy, and Dreams of God, what's next for you guys? Are you just being focused on this project, or is there anything else kind of in the works for you in the nearby future?
Well, we're focused on this project because it will take a while to finish. We're estimating around 3 years to finish the game. But of
Ooh.
course, an alpha release, it will be way earlier and so on. But the game takes a lot, especially the procedural creation. We kind of think that we are wanting to make in such a way, like for example, if you want to make a sword, then your sword won't look like any other sword in the game, and to have
That's
that
really cool.
personal that this is mine and it looks unique, and not just to have a bunch of skins like you mentioned that somebody can buy or something like that. We don't want to take advantage of the micro marketing stuff that's going on.
Yeah, that seems like it's a pretty big thing too, where you can buy a lot of different skins or different colors for customizations, for real world money and such. Are you guys going to include microtransactions, or are you going to, keep them out of the game?
No, keep it out. Only if we realize that that's the only solution to be able to get some funding for the game. Only then, but that's like 1%. It's somewhere in the basement locked, that idea.
Well, I know it is a busy season for you. We, on crunch time, so I won't hold you up much longer. But I do want to end this podcast on a strong note, and that is for a piece of advice for anyone new to the industry. Excuse me. So for anyone who's out there who's interested into getting into creating games, what type of advice would you offer them? Where should they start?
Close YouTube. Just remove it from your bookmark. Don't listen to anybody what says on how to make games. And go on some engine website and start doing there, or find some forums. Go on some engine website. After you learn a little bit, then go on the forums.
Stay away from YouTube.
Yeah, because they will say that don't dream big, try to do something small. Of course, this works to a degree, but if you truly want to do something amazing, just go big. And of course, try to time frame it, but go big. Don't go small.
I love that too. The first game should be small, and your first game, you had your character transitioning souls through different time eras, and that's like the furthest thing from a Mario game.
Yeah, exactly. And if I did it and learn from scratch everything, then anybody can do it.
Well, that is awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. Everyone watching, right here is the link. Sign up for the newsletter. Stay informed on updates and when this game is coming out. And when a demo comes out, we'll be sure to play this on this channel. And hopefully we can get you to come hang out with us when we play the demo too.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be such an awesome experience. Well, Cristian, I hope you have an awesome time. Everyone watching, I hope you have a fantastic Thursday. But most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.